Sorry, just a little thirsty. Welcome. I tried fixing my mic. I know the audio last night, I was playing it back, wasn't too great. Hopefully it's better tonight. I really don't know. There's always some sort of issue, but yeah, we're back. A lot to talk about again. We're just going to start off with Bitcoin, then I'm going to really get into stocks and my thoughts on the market. I really want to hit on one point, but I'll get to that in a second. Just to start off with Bitcoin, yet again, trying to break 60K. I've been saying this for days now. You're at that final point, you just need to cross 60K, you need to stay above it, right? I mean, we've already identified this last Thursday when I put out the trade, which is only up like 3% right now, but the cup and handle, the ascending triangle, and then just this final point of supply. And all you need to do, or all the Bitcoin market participants need to do, is confirm that what was once supply is now demand, and you need to start seeing some demand come in at 60K. Personally, and it's not financial advice, my intuition tells me that 60K is not going to be the top. Could you correct and hit the demand line again before going higher? Yes, but you've now spent, 2 whole entire days just messing around between $59,000 and $61,000, and just looking at the patterns that are being shown and the oscillators. I personally just feel that Bitcoin has a very good likelihood of continuing upwards. And I've been charting Bitcoin since probably $5,000 last year, just like trading it and charting it. But even before I was old enough to trade, I've been charting Bitcoin, so I have a lot of history with just trying to predict where it's going next. In my opinion, it looks good right now. Again, that's just my opinion. I can be wrong very easily. The other crypto trade, just so we can get over it really quickly, is NU. It was actually up a nice amount earlier, pulled back a little bit right now. I also put out this trade like right when I put out the Bitcoin trade, and this one's up 6% in a few days. It was recently, like literally an hour ago, this trade was up like 9%, so it just pulled back 3%, unfortunately. But that's just like, I wanted to start off with crypto. We can get back into later if can't talk. If anybody in the chat asks, well, let's talk about the market, okay? Let's talk about the market. Just before I really even go into the technicals and how important they are right now and why you really need to be watching certain levels, I just want to get like one thing, really just one point across. Yeah, futures are flat right now, but I just really want to get one point across. In the last 4 or 5 months, that I've been putting out trades, I am very confident in saying, and there's statistical proof of this, that it has been very successful. 70% of trades have been winners, and those winning trades have given much, much higher percent returns than the losing trades. And this is what I really want people to realize, because you might be feeling it yourself in your current trades, and obviously some of my trades currently are reflecting that. But this is not a swing trader's market, okay? The market has been great for swing trades in the last pretty much up until March, but really from March until like now, and we'll see how long it'll continue, It's just not been a swing traders market. It's been a market for people who want to scalp and day trade on those lower time frames. It's also been a market for long-term investors to try and get some good entries on those smaller stocks that have been selling off very, very heavily. But you might be noticing in swing trades, because obviously I'm primarily a swing trader, right? And that's been so successful in the last 4 or 5 months, just week after week after week, up until about the last month. It's been a little bit tougher to have these swing trades play out. A lot of the time on these swings, they can start off nicely and they just don't get to their targets. Something just happens before they get to their normal targets, right? So, you know, I'm not planning on putting out any more swing trades this week. I think I put out 3 or 4 trades today for premium and non-premium members, but that's probably it for swing trades this week. I'm kind of going to lay back a little bit on swing trades until it makes more sense. So for the rest of the week, and really until things change, it could be multiple weeks, I'm really going to start focusing more on day trades. Yeah, so if you're in the Discord, follow me on Twitter. I'm going to definitely try and start putting out some more day trades. If you're a premium member, there were a couple options day trades we did last week that were pretty nice, and a couple that weren't. But I think there were definitely, the winners were much better last week for the premium members. But yeah, just really want to get that point across. You're not a bad trader. It's just this is not the optimal condition for swing trading, and I think that most of the people in this channel are swing traders. And I personally am, like, primarily, like 9 out of 10 trades I'll take will be a swing trade, right? So we're gonna start switching up that style until it makes more sense. Just want to kind of start off with that before we even talk about the technicals. And yeah, let's actually talk about the technicals now, and why you need to have a strategy in place, and why I'm not super comfortable taking on swing trades other than the ones that are already out, which I think do look great on the charts. I mean, we'll see how they work out, but really holding overnight might not always be the best case for the next couple of weeks. Now let me kind of explain that. Just looking at the S&P 500, in my opinion, you're due for a pullback pretty soon, okay? I mean, you've gone up pretty much like I'm assuming off the top of my head, probably like 10 out of the last 12 days you've had a green day, and a nice green day. There was a couple sideways days. I don't know the last time that this has happened. I mean, it's not the craziest percentage move, even though it's a very, very big one, but you're just not getting red days lately, and I do think there are going to be some red days to come. Today was, for a lot of stocks, it was red, but overall somehow the S&P closed like flat. Even though the Nasdaq did close down pretty red, as well as the Russell. But let's look at the lower time frames, and this is really what's starting to concern me, and I can show you some previous examples. Yeah, definitely low volume. I think I was just listening to True Trading Group on their live stream. I think he just said that the QQQ had like its lowest volume trading day in a very long time. All right, let's go down to the S&P 500. And again, if you don't care about the S&P 500 and you're trading stocks, you're doing it incorrectly, okay? You need to be caring about the broader markets, because they are going to affect your individual trades. And that's probably something a lot of people just found out in the last month, okay? So let's take a look, all right? Classic bearish divergence is when the price continues to go up, while from one green MACD island to the next one you go down like this. You can see this green MACD island, and let me chart it, and then you can see this next green MACD island, you went down, okay? That is known as classic bearish divergence. I'm on the 30-minute time frame, you have classic bearish divergence. Let's go to the 1 hour, okay? Classic bearish divergence on the 1 hour. You're going up in price, but your MACD is making a lower high. Let's go to, I very rarely look at the 2 hour and the 3 hour, but let's go look at them, okay? Classic bearish divergence on the 2 hour chart. Let's go up to the 4 hour, which is a time frame I use very, very often, okay? Classic bearish divergence on the 4 hour. What else do you have that your oscillators are showing you on the 4 hour for the S&P 500? You're overbought on the RSI. You've only been overbought 2 times since the COVID crash on the S&P 500, on the RSI, on the 4 hour. Last 2 times, you were overbought. You fell pretty harshly. I believe this time over here, you fell like 8%. If we really go all the way back down, I'm gonna have to scale out, okay? Right over here, I believe this was about an 8% drop last time you overbought on the RSI, and then the other time, or that might have been the first time. So this first time was 8% of a drop, and then this second time was a 10% drop. So the last 2 times your RSI was at this level on the S&P, you had an 8 to 10% pullback. Let me show you what that would look like, or if that happened again. I'm gonna do 9% because that's in the middle. you would literally break out of this ascending broadening wedge to the downside, just if you're using the measured move off of those previous RSI signals, okay? Are you prepared for that? Is your portfolio and your risk strategy ready if that does happen? I don't think it's going to happen in one day, but it could happen. You're at the top of the wedge. The last 4 times you were at this area on the S&P 500, you had big corrections where you went down to the bottom of the wedge. And the way that an ascending broadening wedge works is your lines are going apart from each other. So those percentage moves from the top to the bottom of the wedge are going to be greater, right? This move was bigger than this move. And if you do that again, that's going to be bigger than this move. So you just have to kind of understand the context of what's going on. Huge earnings week for financials. I think tech might be starting a little bit later, but for like banks and stuff like that, there's a lot of earnings. Also, some consumer stocks are having earnings this week. And the market has really been pricing in, like the market is expecting that companies are going to have blowout earnings for the first quarter. Or for the second quarter. One of the two, I get confused with it, but yeah, they're gonna report their first quarter earnings starting like this week for financials, right? They have to. I'm so stupid. So because the second quarter just started. I mean, if you don't get good earnings on a lot of these big names, and this type of a movement's already been priced in, of course there are other things, but there's room to fall. And I just want to make sure everybody who watches my stream is prepared for that if it does happen. So earlier today, I was looking at the UVXY, which is kind of the way to trade the VIX. I'm sure many people here know what the VIX is, the volatility index. The UVXY is kind of, it's not like perfectly correlated to the VIX, but it's pretty close. And it's obviously been getting crushed as the market's been making new all-time highs. And if we look at the 4-hour, you are showing, I think it's the daily. Yeah, if you look at the daily, you are showing a falling wedge that got super, super tight and you broke out of it like today. And then you're also showing classic bearish divergence and pretty much the opposite of the S&P 500. On the S&P 500, you're overbought on the RSI. On the UVXY, you're oversold. I remember the last few times that this type of all these indicators were lining up at the same time. You know the last time that all these things were lining up? You remember? It was right here. It was right over here. Okay. That's the last time. If we go on the 4-hour, all right, it was right up here. It was looking very, very similar. You were not technically overbought on the RSI, but you were at the top of the wedge, and you had a pretty bad fall towards the end of February in the S&P 500. All right, so I want everybody to realize that before we talk about any specific stocks tonight. And then also the other question, why am I not really playing SPY puts just yet? Simply because if you're playing puts, they're obviously very, very volatile. Like a 1% move on the S&P 500 can make your puts go down like 50% if they're super short term, or, you know, they're just a lot more volatile than the UVXY. So here's the reason why I'm not really in puts yet. Yes, you are showing bearish divergence all over the S&P 500, but you're not the top of the wedge. And again, historically, you do always hit the exact top of the wedge. So if we get up to the top of the wedge, which is only like a 0.60% move, which could literally happen any day, it's a very casual move in this market, and you're still showing the bearish divergence and you're still overbought, then I'll probably be considering puts. But for now, I prefer the UVXY. It can still get crushed if the market continues up, but it's not going to be as risky as SPY puts, in my opinion. But of course, that would mean less reward if the market really did start falling. But I don't know, there just still is a little bit of room to the upside in the short term, so I'm not really super ready for puts yet. And then who knows, maybe somehow, some way, you end up breaking the top of this ascending wedge. It's possible. You're in the greatest bull market ever, in my opinion, for the US stock market. So you never know. I mean, just because I'm showing you all these things, even if you're overbought, like you can be more overbought. You can go up higher. You've been more overbought before on the S&P 500. So I'm not trying to say that tomorrow the market's going to have a crazy pullback. And also, I'm not saying the market's going to crash. I'm not trying to spread fear. I'm just trying to make sure everybody has a plan to manage their risk. I personally am preferring the UVXY for now. And then obviously alongside that, you want to have stop losses. You want to do proper position sizing. And you want to not be fighting against the money. You want to go where the money could be going to next, right? And really what the recent trend has been is tech has been bouncing back and smaller names have not been doing well. Maybe we get that rotation soon where tech starts pulling back and the smaller names start picking up. because a lot of tech stock are starting to look a little bit overbought on those lower time frames. So yeah, hopefully that gives you some context. The Nasdaq's kind of in the middle of a range, so I can't really talk about it too much right now. It's really a 50-50 in my opinion for the short term. Futures are flat. And then the Russell actually did not have a great day today. It wasn't a horrible day, but I was hoping for a little bit more. You look at this. I mean, you literally confirmed your hidden bullish divergence on Friday on the Russell, and then you went back to red today. It sucks. And that's, again, like I was saying, if you weren't here in the beginning of the stream, it's a tough time for swing traders, and that's why I'm going to stop until it makes more sense for swing trades. I'm going to be focusing more on day trades for the next couple of weeks, most likely. And that might mean that some of the ongoing swing trades might not work out. I mean, it's been rough on swings, right? So let me take a look at the chat, hit that like button. Let's get to 20 likes real quick. Hit that subscribe button. Let's see. Yeah, there's a lot of things coming out this week. I think like real estate numbers. I don't know what CPI numbers are. I don't know what that stands for, but a lot of different data is coming out this week. The artist of this song is Satoshi Nakamoto, for all the people who are caught up with Bitcoin. We are good to shoot higher now that I bought SPY puts. Happens every time I buy. It's just, you still can go a little bit higher in my opinion before a big pullback, but who knows, maybe you do pull back tomorrow. It's just like, I don't know, there's still room to the upside, so I'm not too eager to get on puts. Yeah, I mean, I'm literally fine in getting into puts after you start pulling back. I'm not trying to be super aggressive in getting into puts. I think there's more than enough room to the downside should the S&P start turning, that I don't think it's going to be like a one-day thing where you dump like 4%. I think it'll be like a more methodical pullback, like how this was pretty methodical. It was not a one-day pump. It was like a 2-3 week just up, sideways, up. That was kind of what happened. But yeah, we're going to go over all the trades. Even before I go over all the trades, we already talked about the UVXY. We're going to talk about Fisker for a second here. It's been getting crushed, ever since I put out this trade, and especially I put out a bunch of tweets. I've always been saying I think it can reverse anywhere between 16 and 1450. You're at the lowest point of that range, really. You went down to 1450 was your low today. It's a very dramatic sell-off. I said the same exact thing. We'll talk about CCIV and SNDL when I go over the trades as well. On Fisker, yeah, it's a very dramatic sell-off. I mean, literally on this whole entire move down, I've only put out one other trade on Fisker, and it was literally right up here, and it hit the target of the trade for like a 10-15% profit. It was like this little bump up, and then literally from here all the way until here, I did not put out any trades. And then finally over here, it was looking okay for a little bit. You were holding this support, but then you gapped down on Friday, and obviously that sucked. But you did breach the PCZ of the bullish butterfly, or the first potential PCZ. You do not want to go to the second PCZ. Let's just say that's under $10. I don't think it's going to get there. Like 99%, I don't think Fisker is going under $10 anytime soon. Maybe it's possible if we enter a bear market or something, but it was just $32 a month ago, so I don't think that's happening. I think a lot of people like giving those crazy price targets to the downside only once you're dumping. People were not calling for $10 when you were up here. That's just how retail traders work. Like, they were probably calling for $50 when you were up here, and now that you've already gone down crazy, they're going to be calling for even lower prices. That's not how I trade. But you're at a major steel wall of support. This was like the last trade, if you remember. The entry was $15. Obviously, it was a very nice run, even past the targets of that trade. And you made a 100% retrace. You came all the way back down on Fisker. So as long as you hold that support, you're good. You break that support, and that's where the stop loss of the trade is. It's literally, I think, like 1 cent under. And actually, look, the low here was, the low here was $14.54. Wait. It was $14.33 was your lowest point during December, and then the stop loss is $14.32, so it's literally 1 cent under that, which we'll see if that works out, if it does test it soon. Hopefully it doesn't get stop hunted, but it's just, if you really do break under $14.30, you don't have much resistance for a minute. You have minor resistances, but not a major one. Like, if you break under $14.30, I think you're going to go to $13, like with confirmation on Fisker, okay? But somehow, some way, you got a little bit of a push at the end of the day, and you're still, despite all the dropping on this chart, still showing continuation of development in the hidden bullish divergence on the daily. And technically you still are at a higher low than your previous low, as long as you don't fall under 1433. Okay, so that's Fisker. I mean, if you really can move up soon, which I think it can, again, I might be wrong, but we'll see. Your next resistance would just be the 200-day moving average at 1540. Okay, of course the psychological resistance at 15 will also be there, but I don't think if you do test 15 again, I don't think it would be too hard to break back above it, you know, after a few intraday tests of 15. But yeah, that kind of recaps Fisker, the market, Bitcoin. We're gonna go look at some of the trades again. Like I started off the stream with saying, not an easy time for swing trades, which is why I'm gonna start stepping away from them for a little bit. But yeah, swing trades not been doing too well. Kind of 50-50 this week. I'm not even gonna really switch out to the other overlay and really go into it. But just like a quick recap, a few older trades got stopped out today, like Plug and VISL. VISL probably the worst trade I've ever put out. Not because you know, obviously I was very, very clear about the risks going into VISL, and I said multiple times that it's a very long-term trade and that it's a very high-risk, high-reward trade. I did not think it would fall as much as it did. I was obviously wrong there. Not optimal at all. That's why you always practice risk management, and that's why I've literally been saying every single night on stream, you have to play your risk based on your tolerance, especially with VISL. And of course, you know, big loss, but there's been obviously winners that were much higher than that loss previously. And then Plug also got stopped out. It sucks, you know, really tough time for swing trades. Obviously, I don't enjoy it if you're looking at my face right now, but it's just, that's what the market is right now, and that's why you always have to adapt, and that's what I'm going to try and do until things get back to what they used to be, right? They're just not. That's just the fact of the matter. And you can't be too strict on only one way of trading when there's a lot of different ways of trading that might be more optimal in the short term, right? Even though, yes, especially a lot of the premium swing trades have been working out well, it's just a lot of those were, like, a lot of the premium swing trades were like tech stocks, and obviously the Nasdaq's been doing very, very well, so that's probably a major reason why. And yeah, we'll see how the week continues to develop. I mean, who knows? Let's head back over to the charts. And yeah, we're gonna go over all the trades real quick. A lot of the member trades are down. That's just what it is right now. I hate it, but that's just the fact of the matter. And I'm not the type of person who hides losing trades. I know way too many people that do what I do, only talk about their winning trades. But like, I personally feel you can learn a lot more off of losing trades, and that, like, especially with the amount of winning trades in the last few months. Sure, if we have a couple bad weeks, that is what it is, right? But VIR, we'll start off with this one. I put this trade out today. It actually went up like 2% after hours, I think. I used to trade VIR quite a bit last summer. It was definitely one of my most traded tickers. And you're showing a bullish Gartley pattern, pretty textbook. Especially if you look at the 4-hour, pretty textbook bullish Gartley. Not much divergence, but here's what I really like about it. You held the 200-day moving average for the close. You're pretty much trying to hold that 200-day moving average. You have not closed under it. You even had a bullish pin bar to get back above it last week. Yeah, last week. And this $43 level, which you're a little bit under, but you could easily get back over, was your resistance right over here, resistance right over here, and I think that's about it. But you really want to flip that previous resistance into a support on VIR. Next one, SNDL. I should have waited for the market to open this week before putting it out. I put it out over the weekend. And obviously, a lot of the whole entire wheat sector had a terrible day today. So this trade starting off down 5%. Again, it's just really tough with the swing trades right now, which is why I'm definitely going to be pulling back a little bit. I mean, you're not currently developing the divergence again. Like, really, if this does not have a good day tomorrow, that's when I would start worrying, especially after the big pullback today. But obviously, like, this thing's been selling off. It was $1.73. Not even, it was literally $1.73 3 weeks ago, and now it's under $1. So huge pullback there. Hopefully you can get some sort of a rally. You're trying to hold supports. OPTT, I tightened the stop on this one, which you're pretty close to. Really, as long as you can hold 268, it's fine. You just want to make sure you hold 268 tomorrow. That was pretty much your low today as well. So you did bounce off of it today, which I did like. Next one, ATRA, again, in the middle of a range. I really want to see this thing reclaim 1433. It's just not been performing well. That's really what I'm looking for. 1433. CCIV, bad day as well. Just a lot of these smaller names just cannot catch a break after insane runs in January and February. They just can't catch a break anymore, and it's really just a lot of rotation back into those bigger, tech stocks and stuff like that, industrials as well. Travel, financials, those have been things that are doing better than SPACs and speculation and those types of stocks that were super hot a few months ago. You closed over 22, which I like. I think it was up just a little bit after hours. Really just want to hold over 22 tomorrow. That's really your support, and you want to hold that no matter what on candle closes on the daily on CCIV. Next one is RBA. This one has been doing nicely. This one's been moving with the market. This trade's up 9%, I believe. So you're approaching 64, which is that first resistance. If you want to take some profits at 64, I think that definitely could make some sense. It was your resistance right over here and your resistance right over here. So yeah, taking some profits when the trade's up 9% could make sense in my opinion. We'll see what happens with that one. Zoom, maybe like 1% under the entry, relatively flat, just hasn't done much since the trade was alerted. So I don't know. It's just, again, swing trades at this point, it's just super tough. They're getting these random bounces and then they're selling them right back off. It's just, on these bounces on especially, and Zoom is obviously an exception because it is a bigger tech stock, but especially on the smaller stocks, after you get those bounces, it's just people do not want to buy it higher. That's just really the whole entire deal with a lot of SPACs and speculation and things like that. It happened with Clover, it happened with Excel, it happened with CCIV. When it had that random 10% bounce a couple weeks ago, you're just not getting continuation on those smaller stocks. And if you remember, that was actually the issue with the big beta stocks like Amazon, Apple, Walmart, Microsoft. In the last couple of months, they've been having these random pops, but then they sell right back off. And again, we kind of got like a direct flip in the market where now those types of stocks, the big names, are really continuing their moves up. But these smaller stocks are getting the little pops here and there, but then they're just selling right back down. That's what's just making it super, super hard to swing trade them, which is what I started off the stream talking about, right? PGRE, I talk about this every night on stream. If you randomly see this one day, another 10% higher in the next couple of weeks, I would not be surprised. The trade's up 5%. You are literally 10 cents away from a major breakout, okay? You break 1053, I've said this every single night on stream for a couple weeks now. You break 1053, there's no resistance until the targets. It doesn't mean it's going to happen in one day, but there's just nothing there until the targets of the trade. The gap fill right here is the first target. Second target is this previous support. You just need to clear 1053 and you're literally 10 cents away. You're 1% away from doing that. Keep an eye on it, okay? DCPH, not even going to talk about it. Super long-term trade. It's up a little bit. It's been up. It's been down. Just matters where it ends up. The ISL, obviously, the field trade I already talked about when we were going over the weekly sheet. And that really recaps a lot of the stuff from today. Let me skip this song. But yeah, we got 45 people in the stream right now. Hit that like button. Let's get to 20 likes real quick. Hit that subscribe button if you're enjoying the free analysis. Let's see if my tea is warm now. Or not warm now. It was super hot before. Let me skip that song. New cases in New York City are up over 10x what they were in August, even with the vaccine. I was not even aware of that. That's wild. I was figuring that the COVID cases were dropping, but again, I'm not super caught up with all of that, so that's really interesting. TIRX, I saw that on Twitter today. Bad stuff. I don't even know what happened. I just saw some people tweet about it. We'll take a look at the ticker request in a second here, just kind of seeing what's up with the chat. Neutron Flux Labs says COVID is over. Zoom is getting hit on fundies. Work is opening back up. Lots of CEO don't like remote virtual work. A part of me still believes that Zoom will still have function. I think they're trying to diversify their company and get other revenue streams, kind of like Peloton. Like Zoom and Peloton, obviously they crushed it because of work from home and stay at home. But I do think that people are still going to be riding Pelotons. Their subscription service makes sense. I think they're trying to get into merchandise as well, lifestyle stuff. And then with Zoom, of course, it's not going to be as needed as it was when you couldn't go and meet people. But I still think it might be pretty convenient to do a 10-minute call with a business partner over Zoom rather than flying halfway across the world, right? But of course, like, yes, people are gonna want to socialize and actually go to school, go to work, and go back to normal life, which obviously does affect, those work from home stocks, right? Do I do altcoin analysis? Yeah, if you request it, I'll take a look at it, but we're not doing requests just yet, and we're gonna do it in a couple minutes. I even put out this altcoin trade, which is currently up maybe up 7% now. Yeah, it's up 7%. I put this out a few days ago. It's NU. I think it's like New Cipher or whatever. You don't know something crazy, everybody? I really hate going back into my crypto account and seeing the prices that I was trading some of these cryptos at and just wishing I would have held on. But look at this crypto that just went crazy recently. I could pretty much do this for every single crypto, but FIL Filecoin. I owned this right here. I owned this at 23. It just recently went all the way up to, I don't know why I just lagged out. What just happened to my trading view? I need to refresh my page. It went up to like 200 plus. And I can say the same exact thing for like 10 different cryptos. It's just wild what's been happening in the crypto world. I mean, I had an old crypto account that I completely forgot about with not that much in it, but it was enough for me to be pretty happy yesterday. I just randomly opened up that or logged into that crypto account yesterday. And I came back to that crypto account like for the first time in like 3 or 4 months, and it was up 1000%. It was like basic attention token was in it, and it just went crazy. It's just like, crypto swing trading was very, very fun, but just hodling some things would have been insane. I mean, I owned OXT at like 15 cents. That pretty much just hit $1. I owned a Link under $5. That's like over $30. I owned Tezos at $1 or a little bit above $1. I don't even know what Tezos is at this point. Probably something wild. It's at $6. So it's just wild what these cryptos have done. But yeah, we're gonna go over the ticker requests in a second here. Just trying to converse with the chat. IDEX, we'll take a look at that as well. Definitely want to talk about IDEX for the premium members. But yeah, let's just look at that first. Keep hitting that like button. Come on, we got almost 50 people in here, only 17 likes. Just hit that like button real quick. IDEX, this was a premium trade. Frustrating. And this has been the case for a couple premium trades right now. I'll show you the other one. These are 2 premium trades that are technically over. So first one was IDEX. It was an Adam and Eve double bottom with hidden bullish divergence out of support. The entry of it was 295. A couple days after I put out this premium trade, it was up almost 10%. It just had a nice little, I think, morning one day, and it was up 10% like 2 days after I put out the trade, and then boom, just didn't play out. And this is what I was kind of talking about at the beginning of the stream. There's just so many swing trades that are getting these random pops and the trades are in profit, but they just can't get to their normal targets because people are not willing to continue that move up. Same, I mean, Fubo is extremely frustrating. That's all I'm going to say. This was a trade on Fubo. There's been 2 trades on Fubo for the premium members. The first trade did hit the target for like an 8 or 9% profit. This was the second trade that I put out for the premium members. I really was thinking about this like half of the day today. It was really frustrating me, okay? This is what happened on Friday with the Fubo trade. The entry was $21.68. The target was pretty much $26. It went up to $25.34. On Friday, literally on Friday, 1 day ago in the market, the trade was up 17% and it came all the way back down to the entry. Literally 2% away from the target for the premium members. Like, do you know how frustrating that is? 2% away from having a 19% trade in like a couple of days for the premium members, and then boom, shot right back down to the entry. Like, that's why I really started off the stream talking about like swing trades are just not what they have been in the last 4 or 5 months. And that's really what I want everybody to realize. Like, it's much, much harder to swing trade currently than it has been for the last 4 or 5 months. And that has shown in a lot of the member trades. Fortunately, in the premium trades, it's been pretty good last week and the week before. But it's just these little things. Like, I know I was talking to some people in the premium and they did take profits up here on Friday. Just so close. Tough stuff. Um, but yeah, I don't know. That was just me kind of going on a rant. Appreciate the likes. Hit that subscribe button as well. If you want to join Premium Alerts, they've been doing pretty well the last couple of weeks. That's the first link in the description. And yeah, we'll get into ticker requests if you want me to look at something for you. Drop a ticker in the chat real quick. I'll try my best, not financial advice. Don't request something that was up 1000% today. Don't request something that IPO'd last week. I need something with a stable chart that has history on it to give you an answer based on how I trade, okay? But yeah, we'll take a look at some of these. We'll start off with the ZOM. How is the RSI on ZOM? Any divergence? Sure. The daily RSI, you're not oversold yet, and there is no divergence. On the 4-hour RSI, you are slightly oversold. Again, no divergence. And you can have classic bullish divergence on the 4-hour, but you need your MACD to go to green. It got super close to going green, but then with the pullbacks on the price, it's just having issues. So you have not confirmed that yet. And unless this divergence does let the price rally back up, your next support's like 89 cents. I'm not saying it's going to go there. I'm just telling you where it kind of looks like to me. But you want that. If that divergence could help you, you just need to confirm. We'll see what happens with that. Maybe branch out to the IPO market. That's still hot, and a few interesting names are debuting this week. Yeah, Coinbase. Oh, you say you're not talking about Coin. I'll take a look at it. It's just, I'm just more of a technical trader. It's worked out very, very well in the last 5-6 months. It's just the last like 2 weeks. It took me a little bit longer than it should have for me to realize that it's not a swing trader's market. I was still giving things chances, and they were just popping and then selling right back down. So I'm finally at the point where it's like, all right, I'm just going to start putting out day trades from here on out because it's frustrating. And the day trades have been pretty well for a few of the, the options trades I've sent to the premium members. Sam, are you talking about BAT, the crypto? I don't even know if there's a stock called BAT. Yeah, there's a lot of different things called BAT. Just let me know if you're talking about the crypto. Are day trades still going to be at 3-to-1? Great question. If something's like low volatility, it's probably going to be a 2-to-1 reward to risk, just because it's really hard to get a 3-to-1 reward to risk on a day trade because they don't move typically that much during one day. Unless it's a volatile ticker that's moving very quickly, then maybe it could be a 3-to-1, but it probably will be 2-to-1s. Will I post them in Discord? Yes, I will be posting them in the Discord. And well, for the premium members, only a Discord. For everybody else, on the Discord and on Twitter. I might make like a separate sheet for the day trades just because there's like 30 swing trades currently on the regular sheet. Obviously, nobody's in all of them, and even if you were in all of them, you have to spread out your capital so thin to have like proper position sizing that it wouldn't be too risky. But that would be like you'd have to believe in the companies fundamentally, so kind of balances out. But yeah, we got a lot of more tickers here. I'm gonna try and just keep it to 1 ticker per person for right now, just for time purposes. Thoughts on Coinbase IPO? Give me a second there. Take a look at it. BAT USD. This is the thing that 10x'd in my old crypto account that I didn't even realize until yesterday. So you said Wink. Is that like a crypto? You said Wink, GRT, and BTT. I'm gonna go with GRT because I've traded that before and I know what it is. I don't really know the other two that you requested. Twilio, Neo, VeChain. Okay. And yeah, for the people who are here for stocks, I started out trading with crypto. Starting off with basic attention token. I don't know, I just opened up one of my random old crypto. I only had like 3 crypto accounts with like different emails, but like on different exchanges. But I opened one of them that I completely forgot about yesterday, and I had basic attention token in it. Not too much, it really wasn't that much, but it was up 1000% since the last time I opened that account. This point, I mean, obviously it's going parabolic. I think this is your support, 138. All right, well, not even. It's really like between like 137 to 138. It was your resistance right over here, and now you're trying to double bottom off of it. If you can successfully double bottom off of 138, then you're talking about hidden bullish divergence on the 4-hour MACD. Okay. GRT. I think as long as it's above $2, it's bullish. I mean, $2 looks like the resistance to me, and you broke above that. Not a huge fan of this candle pattern right here. Pretty close to a bearish engulfing, but it technically wasn't. It was just like millicents away from a bearish engulfing candle, so I guess you're fine for now. And you are getting a nice 2-3% candle in the last couple of hours, but next resistance, in my opinion, would be $2.20. You're kind of in the middle of support and resistance. Your support's $2, your resistance is $2.20. Twilio kind of looks like a complex potential head and shoulders, like Mitch Ray says, and like I've said a couple times before. Head and shoulders are not head and shoulders. They're only potential head and shoulders until you break the neckline. Because, you know, and Mitch Ray was kind of going over this a couple nights ago on his stream. A lot of the time, especially in these market conditions that are super bullish, you come down to the neckline of the head and shoulders, which technically has a high chance of a breakout to the downside. And that's just where they're reversing to the upside. It's been happening to a lot of stocks. So that's why you want to actually wait for breakout confirmation. You're even getting fake outs. Like you got a fake out right here. But it kind of looks like a complex head and shoulders. Now, what is a complex potential head and shoulders? Obviously, your regular head and shoulders pattern will look... Alright, that was really loud. Your regular head and shoulders will look like this, okay? Your left shoulder, head, right shoulder. The complex ones will have this as well. You're gonna have they could have 3 additional shoulders, where really what makes it a complex head and shoulders is not only do you have the left shoulder, head, right shoulder, you also have like a lower high left shoulder and then a lower high right shoulder. So that's called a complex head and shoulders. And then if you really do fall under 327 and hold under it, that would be bearish in my opinion, but you're not even close to that yet. So I wouldn't be too worried right now. Let's see, on the daily, not much of an edge. So it's a little bit 50-50 here in my opinion though. That hopefully that education gave you some value. I'm just not too sure in terms of like a thesis. Neo, it's really struggling to get back above 38. I think Neo's bearish under 38. I think Neo's bullish over 38. I mean, there was a trade on it. It got up very nicely in profit, and then it just broke. It broke 38. And oh my gosh, that was so loud on my TV. You probably can't even hear it, but Neo, you want to reclaim 38. I mean, the chip shortages have just not been doing too well with a lot of these EVs. I know Henrik Fisker actually earlier today put out a tweet saying it's not going to affect them. We'll see how the market reacts to that tomorrow. And then VeChain, the crypto, this thing's, it's at the moon. I mean, maybe it goes to Mars, but it's currently at the moon. Okay, this thing did moon. That already happened. So saying VeChain to the moon at this point, in my opinion, would just not be correct. You'd have to be saying like VeChain to the Mars. I mean, literally under 1 cent to pretty much 15 cents at the highs. It's crazy. I mean, I don't know if there's like another chart which has more data on it, and if like there's like other price action up here, but just on the Binance chart, it hasn't been this high. And at this point, this is not really, you know, my forte when it comes to trading. I prefer reversal trades rather than parabolic crazy uptrends. It's just like a little bit tough to manage risk in my opinion, because the next clear support I see is 10 cents. So it's literally a 50-50 shot that it continues going crazy because it's in a super nice uptrend, or it comes down to 10 cents. So I just can't really, I'm just not too sure, but obviously it's a heavy outperformer in the crypto space right now. Wink, yeah, I mean, I'll try and look into it later. It's just, you know, from a technical standpoint, not too sure. But yeah, drop some tickers in the chat. We'll take a look. Just trying to help out. If you want me to look at something for you, let me know in the chat. If you want to join premium alerts, that's the first link in the description. I think this is like, once this week is over, this Friday, that'll be officially the first month. And it depends on how this week goes, but the first week wasn't too great for the premium trades. It was really rough in the market. On that first week, it was horrible timing. But the last 2 weeks for the premium trades, in my opinion, have been pretty strong. Obviously, always room for improvement, but see how this week goes. We talked about CCIV earlier. You just want to hold 22 bucks, really, in my opinion. DraftKings, will take a look. Yeah, keep dropping tickers in the chat. Last night's stream was awesome. I got a lot of great feedback from last night's stream. I obviously planned out last night's stream a little bit more than I do. I very rarely plan out my streams and like what I'm going to talk about. I kind of just go live and then just say things off the top of my head. But last night's stream, there was just so much that I wanted to cover that I did kind of map it out in my head what I wanted to do. I don't know, I feel like last night's stream, if you haven't watched it, I think it's still valuable information, especially from an educational standpoint. If you miss like the first 20 to 25 minutes of last night's stream, I just really went in depth on like market analysis. And thanks for all like the good feedback I got today for last night's stream. And it was fun. Last night's stream was awesome. This stream's good as well. I'm not saying it's not. Take a look at Tesla, ARVL, CLSK. We'll take a look at all of them. All right. So DraftKings, ARVL, Tesla, CLSK. All right, let's take a look at these two, or these five. Keep dropping tickers in the chat. I'm here for a while. You know, as long as you guys are dropping in tickers, I'll be here for another 20, 30 minutes. I don't know, depends on how it's going. DraftKings, I think they had some recent news. But this kind of does, again, look like a potential inverse, a potential head and shoulders to me. You know, sock. Yeah, it always pops up. But yeah, like head, left shoulder, right shoulder, but it's not a confirmed head and shoulders unless you break under $57. You break under 57, I think DraftKings is bearish. If you can somehow hold above 57, I think it's fine. You just don't want to fall under 57. Okay, you did bounce off of it today, so hopefully you can just hold that. But you're kind of hanging on by a thread right here. ARVL, really not enough data for me to give you a clear. On the daily, there's a little bit more. Is this a SPAC? I'm not sure if it's a SPAC or not, but regardless, let's see. You do have some Class C, classic bearish divergence on the daily MACD. You also have some regular classic bullish divergence on the RSI, even though it's not really curling up yet. It's just not much of a pattern or like anything like that. I mean, you did fill this gap finally. You filled the gap to 1368 today on ARVL. So, you know, that gap was from November. You finally filled it. In terms of a harmonic, maybe. We'll take a look. That's not really a good. When you see like a 0.70 retrace from X to B, it's like it's not a 618, it's not a 786, so it's just it's too deep from X to B to be a bat. I would not call this a harmonic right now. I mean, is this really accurate? Yeah, it's kind of, maybe you could call it a butterfly, but then you'd at least be talking about the 1618, which would be lower. And it already passed the 786, so not too sure. Tesla, let's see what's up with that. Beautiful, beautiful. This is like textbook stuff that's happening on Tesla right now, and it just makes so much sense. I mean, inverse head and shoulders. I really tried to play this for the premium members. It just got stop hunted one day, which sucks. Even same thing, just like Tesla, and then also it was Blink, right? Both of them. Blink did pull back crazy today, but still holding that neckline. I'm actually going to be looking at this tomorrow, maybe for a day trade. We'll see. I'm going to keep it on my watch. Just let me just add it real quick. But because Blink might do what Tesla did today, so you can see Blink, it pulled back to hit the neckline. Blink might do what Tesla did today. I just said that twice, but whatever. Okay, Tesla had an inverse head and shoulders. It broke out of this neckline, and it spent pretty much 4 days flipping the previous resistance into a support. So you had your break, you had your hook, and now you're working on your go. If you can clear 708 tomorrow, that would probably be your go, and you'd probably see 740 next if you can get above 710. Very textbook reversal things are occurring, and they've been occurring since here. It just got stop hunted, which sucks. CLSK, hold 20 and you're good. That's literally it. You are showing classic bullish divergence. You have been showing it, but it's not playing out. Just not enough bids are coming in. You're trying to hold 20. As long as you can do that, you're good. You just want to close above 20 every single day. SKL to the US dollar. That's interesting. I mean, I don't really know if he calls it a harmonic, but we'll give it a shot. Wow, that is a Gartley. It's kind of weird looking Gartley, but Actually, I don't think that's good enough on C. I think you might need a 382, pretty close to a Gartley though, where you have your 618 from X to B, and then you did bounce off the 786 PCZ. But you're not getting crazy fall through price action. If this C point, I think your C point has to be a 382. So if this C point was like right up here, just like literally 2 cents higher, it would be a textbook bullish Gartley. I would still say it's close enough. And then not only are you showing a bullish Gartley on this crypto, but you're also showing, let me skip that song. You're also showing an inverse head and shoulders that's developing. Skip that song as well. And if you ever break the neckline of this inverse head and shoulders, I mean, I'd probably target 82 cents. After 82 cents, it could just go crazy. So it looks pretty decent. The MACD looks fine. RSI looks fine. But just not a lot of data, so you can't really compare to other levels. But that's that. We got some more takers dropping in. Keeping that like button. Let's get to at least 30 likes. Oh, somebody did request a link in the chat, so we'll take a look at that. AXSM. Deep Crab, classic bullish divergence. Do you have an opinion on trying to make trades long-term due to short-term tax gains due to tax purposes? Personally, it's not too much of a concern for me. Obviously, that's taken away some profit, but you know, the profits in this market have been very, very nice. That, yeah, a short-term higher tax rate would definitely suck, and it would add up over time. But I still think short-term trades are still valid. You can still short-term trade even if there's a higher tax, in my opinion. Like, because you're still walking away with profit. Obviously, it's going to be less profit, but I still think that like the market is probably not going to react well to it if it does pass and everything. I don't even know how the legislation is going along. I'm not too caught up with all that, but I mean, I'm still going to be short-term trading. They could raise the taxes on short-term capital gains to 50%, and I'd still be short-term trading. Of course, I also long-term trade. It's just, I'm just saying, like, there's just so much opportunity, especially in these market conditions, that obviously, and especially for people who are not 18 years old and, you know, have families and much more bills. I really don't have any bills to pay. I mean, I have a few, but you know, obviously, many of you who are older than me with like actual like bills to pay and stuff like that. Of course, that's going to be much more stressful. You know, I definitely have like empathy and sympathy for that. So I understand it there. Just giving you like my personal my thoughts on it. And of course, probably in 10 years, I'm going to hate it. You know, when I do have those bills to pay and stuff like that, but or not even 10 years, like 3 or 4 years. But for now, it's okay, I guess. I don't know. We'll see how it's just crazy times. I mean, I'm not trying to be political or anything. Just, yeah, the last year has just been wild. I think everybody can agree on that. Triple M. It's going crazy, but you did have classic bearish divergence. It's just so bullish that it did not play out, and you went right back to green on the daily, which is crazy. Yeah, you have a gap fill, which is like, I mean, I could really zoom in and tell you where that gap fill's at. Yeah, it's pretty much around like 217, which was also your resistance right here. So maybe eventually it goes there, but just remember this thing went from 113 to 200, so random pullbacks would probably be very normal. Especially you are currently like testing a resistance. 198 was your support here and your support here, so we'll see if it can break above that, but not much divergence or pattern, just crazy movement. And then back to Blink. I'm going to be looking at this going into tomorrow for potential day trade, and I'll kind of explain why. Let's kind of look at it right now. Let's see what it looks like. So it broke out of the inverse head and shoulders. It back tested the breakout. It started going up, and then just like a lot of swings, it just randomly pulled back because people didn't want to continue buying it, right? But maybe tomorrow, let's go look at the lower time frames and see if we can spot anything. Okay. On the pullback, is there some sort of value that we're looking? Yeah. I mean, if we're really looking at it, I would classify pretty much $40.23 as a support. $40.23 was your candle low right here, over here, kind of over here. And if we really come back into time, it was your resistance on those two candles, your support on this candle. If it retests 40.23, you also had a bullish hammer candle on the 4 hour today for the close. But let's really start. And here's a conflicting variable though. You have 4-hour classic bearish divergence. So that's the conflicting variable, but typically 4-hour classic bearish divergence won't matter too much if you're day trading. So let's zoom into the 1 hour. If you ignore this low, which I don't really think you should, you could call it hidden bullish divergence, but I really wouldn't. I don't know, maybe if you can get the MACD cross over to green tomorrow and it doesn't go too crazy, it might give you an opportunity. Let's zoom in further. Yeah, no divergence there, but just look at this. It's not a two-year bottom by any means, but I like how you reclaimed back over 40. Kind of also bounced off the lower Bollinger Band. Let me skip that song. VWAP, maybe if you squeeze over the VWAP, it could also present a trade. I think it's day tradable, if that's like it's not the right way to say it, but I think, you know, those are the types of things I kind of look for in my day trades, but I need a lot more confirmation, and I can't really get that confirmation until the market opens tomorrow. But as long as you stay above that neckline on Blink, it looks fine for like the midterm. AXSM. I get what you're saying about the divergence, but you're not really developing it right now. You want to see your MACD waning with these like lighter red pinkish bars rather than like the dark red bars. In terms of the deep crab, probably. I mean, there's a lot of different ways you can line up a harmonic here, but it would not be a deep crab if you looked at it like this. I'll tell you that much. I mean, no, that wouldn't even be a bat because the bat piece is usually 886. So I'm not too sure. I mean, if you're looking at it like a deep crab, I think you have to look at it like this. But that's not a 618, that's like a 786. That's an 886. So that can't be a deep crab either. I'm pretty sure a deep crab has to be a 618 from X to B. I might be mistaken. Oh, great. X is at the start of November. Thank you. Well, that also couldn't be a deep crab because for your deep crab, you need your D point to be under your X point. So look, if we start it all the way in November from down there, again, that's way too much of a deep of a retrace, and you cannot ignore this whole entire move to the downside because it was very real. So again, just not a valid deep crab. Again, I don't know if I'm looking at it incorrectly. November 2020, yeah, that's what I was looking at, right? Yeah, I was going from November 2020 right here. You can see the date like at the bottom. Just it's really hard sometimes because there's so many different ways you can view a harmonic with these types of structures. Just like send a picture in the Discord, something. It's just really hard. Like I can look at this 3 different ways, you know what I'm saying? But regardless of a harmonic, I would say your support is 49.21 from this low and then kind of from these candle highs. And then your next major resistance is like $65 from these supports, okay? Let's take a look at the chat. All right, we'll look at Wink, sure. VLON. That was the wrong Wink. Oh, wait, what? Yeah, it has to be that. No, that's Win, that's not Wink. Wink is not showing up for me. I'm putting in Wink, and I'm only getting Win, W-I-N. I'm not getting Wink. That's not a crypto. I'm not too sure. VLON, not enough data for me to really give you a technical answer. Of course, if you're playing it like Fundamental or Catalyst, of course it can. I'm just saying, like, from how I trade, just again, I can't really give you much here. That's not even what I was looking for. It's also Win. Okay, I'll take a look at that then. ESWW. So we're gonna look at Win then. I mean, again, I think you were saying something like fundamental. I don't really know much about it, so I can't really help you out there. I think it looked great right over here. Not that you really had an ice line or anything, but you were showing hidden bullish divergence. And that already started playing out, but now it's pulling back again. I mean, if you go on the 1 hour, maybe you can call this inverse head and shoulders. know what I'm saying, like in development, but it definitely has a lot of work. I mean, for sure it has a lot of work. And then yeah, you do have some 1 hour hidden bullish divergence developing. Made a nice little retrace. See what happens there. Yes, WW. You do have some classic bullish divergence on the 1 hour. Not much of an edge on the 4 hour or the daily. It's not really how I trade. But yeah, you know, any other tickers that you want me to look at, any questions you have about trading, let me know. Keep hitting that like button. We need one more like to hit 30 likes. Hit that subscribe button. You want to join premium alerts, we're closing in on like the first month. You can join anytime though. It doesn't really matter what date you join on. It just renews like whatever day you sign up on will be your renewal date. So it doesn't matter which day you sign up on. First link in the description. If you want to send me a tip or get some merchandise like the free trading movement hoodie or this cap, or I can get it, or this mouse pad, that is the pinned chat. All right, appreciate all the support. If VLAN did hit $10 pre, what would it be somewhat more interesting to look into that style trading strategy I played this morning near 100% gain? You know, I'm not too concerned with that. I'm still very secure with my trading strategy. And again, I've never once hated on another person's trading strategy. I'm not saying yours is better or mine is better. I'm just saying to each their own, right? Because, you know, those hundreds of percent gains, like a lot of, especially, and I'm not saying you, I'm just saying newer traders, think that you can only get those crazy gains by trading those types of things. But that there can't even talk. But there is the world of options, which I'm very familiar with. So that's really how I kind of sometimes get those crazy big wins, right? MAC has classic bullish divergence. It's confirmed on the MACD on the daily. You also have classic, yeah, you have classic bullish divergence on the 4 hour, but it's kind of being weird. You're just at a make or break area, 1221. Again, that's not a super specific, I'd say it's really hard to give you like a super specific price point, but just like the general area, like 1215 to 1230 is a make or break area. I like how you had the daily bullish pin bar to try and reclaim it, because this used to be a resistance right over here, this orange line. Then it was your support, and you're trying to fight to get back above it. If you can get back above it for real, your next resistance is like 13 bucks, 13.20. You break 13.20, then you're talking about 14.78. That's MAC. Yeah, NASCAR, and of course you probably, or not probably, you are a lot more experienced in that realm of trading compared to me. ABML. Finally an OTC that's not a super gappy chart. Love to see it. You do have classic bullish divergence on the 4 hour. It already kind of played out, but then sold off again. Hidden bullish divergence on the daily as well, on the MACD and on the RSI. Okay, it's just a little bit tough to get some context here because of how crazy it is. That's just kind of like the OTC world, I guess, but I'd say 128 could be your support. It was kind of your candle low here and where you kind of gapped up over here. And if it really does take off with the hidden bullish divergence or whatever, for whatever reason, I don't really see like a horizontal resistance. So I'd probably just go with Fibonacci from your previous swing high to your swing low. You target the 50% retrace to 618, however you want to play that. So that's that, UBX. How long does divergence play out for? How long can you consider a valid signal? I would say divergence plays out until your MACD starts going back, like really starts consistently. If you're talking about bullish divergence, I'd say it's valid until your MACD really starts consistently going back down towards red. So like, for example, like right here, Just imagine, it was not bullish divergence, but just imagine that once this MACD island turned to green, you had bullish divergence. Your bullish divergence was valid all the way up here, probably a little bit over here. But then once you really started consistently going down is when I would say that this bullish divergence you confirmed right here, pretty much in that area would be kind of finished out. Because typically if you get that type of a green island, your price would have done something nice, right? Because the MACD obviously is a lagging indicator correlated to the price. So yeah, typically, like, you know, I would say your bullish divergence is kind of done playing out once you're consistently getting these lighter green bars going back down towards red. But again, there's a lot of the times you're going to see, like, you know, you're going to go down like this, but then you're going to start going back up again. So it's really, it just kind of comes with experience and just like your gut feeling of it. And then also you have to line up that MACD with other indicators as well, like support and resistance, and just price action. And then obviously vice versa if you're talking about bearish divergence. So UBX, if we take a look at that, 550 is your support in my opinion. As long as you're above that, you're good. Can't really be a harmonic in my opinion. Maybe it is, but I don't really think it looks like one for now. No divergence on the 4-hour, and no divergence on the daily. So really 550 is just like the level that you're trying to hold. Narissa says, my dude, thanks ABML. I loved watching you create the FTM and your hard work is impressive. Appreciate that. Thank you. But yeah, I mean, you know, that's all. I think we're going to wrap it up here. Gonna be back tomorrow, 9 p.m. EST. Future is still flat. Bitcoin moving up a bit. We'll see what tomorrow brings. Look out for some day trades. Maybe not tomorrow. It depends on what the market looks like, but probably a few day trades some point this week, especially if you're a premium member. If you want to join premium, that's the first link in the description. Thank you very much for watching, and hopefully you got some value from the stream. That's all I try to do. I could care less about giving you trades. Obviously I love it, and I love when they play out, but like I could care less about the trades when you're putting that in contrast or in comparison to education. So that's always been my main focus. And hopefully from an educational standpoint, you've learned quite a bit. If you've been hanging around here for a while, and if you're new to the stream, hopefully you do, you know, once you come back and just continue to watch the streams. So yeah, appreciate all the support. It's been a wild, probably been like 6 months now since I started streaming. Now it's April. It's been a wild 6 months. It doesn't even feel like 6 months. It feels like I started this like a month ago. I don't know, but appreciate all the support. Thank you very much. Have a great night. Trade safely tomorrow, and peace out.